Hi, First Menno.
Hello. Hi, everybody. We are sitting here in our apartment. It's a Sunday afternoon, and surprisingly, it's not raining outside. And so we thought we would go on a little tour of the city, show you some of the things that we see, and then talk about some of the things that you guys could be praying for us for as well.
So this is the outside of our apartment building where we're living. And now we're going to take you on the route that we walk when we go to school and when I go to the university to teach. This is the statue of Martynas Mažvydas. He wrote the first book, which was actually printed in Lithuanian. And we pass this every day on our way to the university and to the children's school.
Every day as we're walking to and from school and the university, we walk on this walking bridge that goes over the train tracks. We have about a 35-minute walk to school or to LCC. So we're thankful for this bridge because it helps us avoid some of the traffic.
This is LCC, this is the university I'm teaching at. This building here is the gymnasium. What's sort of interesting is there's not a lot of basketball courts in Lithuania, although basketball is really popular. And so for a while, this building was actually one of the best basketball courts in this part of Lithuania. And in fact, the national team would actually play here. Now there's a bigger court in town now, so that doesn't happen as much, but it's still kind of a big deal to have a gym like this. A lot of places don't have one. And over here are some of our residence halls. And then this is sort of neat too. There's a little pond here, and you oftentimes see people fishing here. So I thought I'd just share a few ways you could pray for me and for LCC. In some ways, LCC is a great place to be. There are 550 students from about 28 countries here this fall, and so a lot of people from different places coming together, and it's really neat that way. Most of the students here are from parts of the former Soviet Union, so about half the students are from Lithuania. The other half are from places like Moldova, Ukraine, Russia, Kazakhstan. And so in a lot of these places, basic human rights aren't guaranteed. Some of our students are from Belarus, and there's just been election problems there. So many of these students come from very difficult backgrounds, have very difficult stories. Some research was done with some of our students a few years ago and found that many of them were exposed to trauma very early in their lives. And so even though the people here are bright and articulate, there's a sense that they have needs that maybe the average university student in the U.S. wouldn't have. And they've been through some things that not everyone in the U.S. would have been through. So you could pray for them. Also, most of the students here are not Christians. A lot of people estimate maybe 10 or 15% of our students are, actively trying to follow Christ. And so there are a lot of people here who don't know Christ, and you can just pray for them. Pray that the work that we're doing here would in some way witness Christ's love and mercy and grace to them. You could also pray for the faculty and staff. LCC is a great place, but it's kind of under-resourced and understaffed often. And so there's a lot to do, and people are very busy. And everyone here is really nice and friendly, but people are just so busy that sometimes that comes in the way of the community and the work that we're doing. Also, there's a lot of transition here. Many people come for a semester, a year, and then they go back to the U.S. or move on. And so that makes things difficult sometimes. You get close to people and then they leave. Already this fall, there was an older couple who were here for about 10 weeks, and Amy got to know them pretty well, spent a lot of time with the wife, and they got to know our kids pretty well. We're kind of surrogate grandparents, and now they're gone again. So, so just a lot of transition, a lot of change, and that makes things difficult. So a lot of good things going on, but a lot that you can be praying for too. Thanks.
Čia yra mūsų mokykla, Klaipeda Stoltzfus.
That means in English, this is our school, Klaipeda Stoltzfus.
This is the outside of the school the kids are going to. It's been under construction or under being renovated ever since we got here. As you can see down here, they're still doing some work. So the kids have great stories about how their classes are kind of interrupted by the workmen, and it sounds like the other day one of the workmen was making peace signs outside the window, which Katie found really amusing.
So schooling for the kids is definitely an area that we would appreciate your prayers in. We were so proud of both Katie and Dylan when they said that they were willing to try an immersion program, but every day, produces its own challenges for them. We've conquered figuring out the lunch menu. Dylan has learned how to ask for that so they at least know what they're going to eat every day. But learning the language is definitely hard. And so if you could just pray for them just on a daily basis to have energy to go to school and to kind of face all the challenges that they have, and that they can build some friendships. And also for Ken and I, just that we can have wisdom in making decisions, and in our conversations that we have with the school, just that we can do that in a positive way that can benefit the kids.
So this is at Mennonite Square, which is as you're going south through town and getting near the old town. There's a ship, and it's fall now. It's November, so it's not as pretty, but there's flowers growing all over this in the spring and summer, and it's kind of neat. So this is as you're entering the old town area. This monument across the street is a monument to United Lithuania, and it was erected after the end of the Soviet Union. The inscription says, in English, it would be something like, "We are one land, one nation, one land, one Lithuania." And here's the bridge that goes across into the old town area. And some little shops and restaurants along the river. That's the Dane River.
Some of the old town area along the Dane River. We like the old buildings here.
So here we are out at what's called the Old Ferry Port, and the land you're seeing across the water there is what's called the Coronian Spit. It's just a long strip of land out in the water, and half of it belongs to Lithuania. Further south it belongs to Russia. And so this is just kind of a neat place. We've taken the ferry across a few times. There's a little restaurant over there. There's actually an aquarium and a dolphinarium, although the dolphins are on loan to Greece right now, and there's a big debate about whether they're ever coming back or not. But yeah, so just kind of a nice place to go and visit, and really nice beaches on the far side where it touches the Baltic Sea.
Labas First Mennonite. So we talked a little bit about ways that you could pray for LCC and its students, and for Katie and Dylan as they're going to school. I think for me, the hardest thing right now is trying to find kind of what my purpose is. Like, I'm doing some work at LCC at the library, and I've really enjoyed getting to know some of the Lithuanian women who work there. But it's pretty limited because I'm trying to be available to the kids after school. And so I seem to spend a lot of my day hauling groceries back and forth, and doing laundry, and so I'm just kind of looking for ways to connect with other women here, I think, and find something to do that has a little bit more meaning for me. So that's something that you could pray for.
And I guess for me, I just feel like I've got so much going on. I'm really busy at the university, and I get home and I'm tired. There's just that tiredness you feel when you're adjusting to a new culture. And so you can pray for energy for me and for rest. And also, I tend to kind of have mood swings and be moody sometimes. So when I have a down day here, I feel like it's especially down, and I have those sometimes. So yeah, you can pray for that as well. And just for community at the university among the faculty and the students, and in my department, we're trying to do some things where we just spend time together away from work and outside of classes. And if you just pray that goes well. I guess the other thing I'd mention too is just keeping Lithuania in your prayers. It's a place where a very high suicide rate, a high alcoholism rate, just a lot of things going on here. We see a lot of homeless people digging in dumpsters for food and for bottles to return for the deposit, and so just a lot of needs here. And we've kind of shown you some of the pretty parts of town, but there's definitely another story here too, and so we just wanted to mention that as well. We miss you guys. We think of you often, and hopefully we'll be able to be home and visit you at some point.
Beso, kiddo.